All right, back in the basement again today to talk about these Keppi Open Collars. I'm sure you guys are familiar with them. They've been all over the internet, especially since Coop did a review on his co-op channel where they literally sold out everywhere for quite a while. They're back in stock now. I got a pair. I want to just give you my thoughts on them. Overall, I think they're really good. There's a reason these are so popular. Number one, they're good collars, they're high quality, and number two, the price point is really attractive to a lot of people. Now, obviously, these look very similar to the Eleiko ones that are out there, but they're like a third of the price. The Eleiko ones retail for now somewhere around 120 bucks. These Keppi Open Collars retail right now for $39.99, which you can get actually on Amazon, which is really nice because you get that quicker shipping. Or you can actually buy them from Keppi's website itself and use an affiliate code like Gluck to save you a couple of bucks on there, but it's like $2 and some change. So it's not a huge saving. So if you feel more comfortable going through Amazon, you can. You can also use people's Amazon affiliate links to give them a couple of pennies more. Obviously, if you use their direct affiliate through the website, they probably get a couple more bucks, but we're really talking about peanuts here when it comes to actually getting some money back from these from an affiliate standpoint. Now, again, these things are pretty popular and I think for good reason. I've been using them for quite a while now. Just wanted to give you my thoughts on how they stack up. So the big appeal with these, I think, number one is the price compared to an Eleiko version. Again, a third of the price, but also the build quality. These are like a metal material. They have some rubber on the inside. These grip the barbells pretty good. And the fact that they're designed as an open collar means they go on and off super, super quick. So they're super handy in that regard. You will set some PRs and putting collars on and taking them off, but in reality, is that something that's super important to you? For me personally, it hasn't been. Again, it's a nice convenience to have, but it's not something I was really looking for outside of way back in the day when I was training in my parents' basement using an old standard barbell with spin lock collars. That's probably the only time where I wished that there was a quicker solution. Most collars these days don't take long to put on or take off. So having this is just more of a convenience feature rather than a must-have. Another convenience feature on these is the fact that they're magnetized. So personally, I do have the problem of when I'm taking collars off of the bar where I have to set them somewhere while I'm loading plates. Sometimes I forget where I put them, so it takes me a couple of seconds to realize, oh, I put it on that bench or I put it on one of my jerk blocks or something like that. In this case, you can just slap them on your uprights for your squat rack or on the actual plates themselves if you're using metal plates, and they're always right there. So again, really convenient in that regard. Again, especially considering the price point and the build quality. However, where I really wanted to kind of stack these up is how they handle deadlifts, because to me, how a collar works is probably the most important factor. Second being price, third probably being like aesthetics. Now, when I put these on and have used them, I did notice that they did seem like they were moving a little bit more for deadlift. So in today's session, which is why I'm dressed this way, just finished training, I had a couple of sets of 6 on deficit deadlifts, which meant that these were for sure going to be put to the test. And as I figured and have found out through using them, they do move some during training. And I thought what I do is actually compare them to the other collars that I use a ton, which is the Rogue aluminum collars, which retail for $49.99, so $10 more expensive, and the X-Master aluminum collars, which retail for, I think, $39.99. So same price point as these, but they just have the single clasp design that we're all really accustomed to. And in my mind, I was like, oh, this is where the Keppi is going to fall short. This is why it's budget. This is why it's from a brand that not as many people are familiar with. And actually, to my surprise, and maybe it was just more of a recency bias of having used these more, I actually found that they worked generally the same. Now, with my deadlifts for these sets, what I did is I recorded the actual further away shot so you can see how I was putting the bar down, which was a little bit more forceful than normal because I hate doing deficits for multiple sets and reps. And I have more of a close-up shot on the actual barbell itself. And then finally, I showed you afterwards jacking it up and see how much wiggle room there is. And to be honest, there wasn't a ton of difference between this, the Rogue aluminum, or the X-Master, which again, I was surprised about. So it did actually work just about as well. So price point compared to the collars that I normally use most often, it's right in line with that. As far as how it works, again, right in line with the collars that I usually use. Where this kind of falls short a little bit to me is just the aesthetics. I just don't like the look of it necessarily. I would say the brand name is something that, I prefer a more name brand, which isn't really the case because then I would buy the Eleiko and spend $120 for pretty much the same thing, I think. But just aesthetically, I like the aluminum look better than these open collars. But where this has really come into play for me again is the convenience factor of on and off, which again is a big selling point, but also putting it on a rack or plate so you just don't really lose track of it. So if you're in the market for new collars, I think this is a viable option because it kind of checks all the boxes, if you will. If you're set with the collars you have and are looking for something better, unless you really just want something that's going to speed up your loading and unloading time by a couple of seconds or just be magnetized, which, by the way, you could probably magnetize whatever existing collars you have or get magnetized versions of the ones that you currently have as well, because a lot of companies sell them these days. It's probably not as big of a selling point to upgrade to these. I don't think they're an upgrade necessarily, but overall, they're for 40 bucks. It's a pretty nice collar. So those are my thoughts. If you want to, you can use my Amazon affiliate link below, or if you want to support one of the other content creators like Gluck, who I would suggest, or one of my other many friends out there who have affiliates for these, you can use them as well. And I'll try to put some of those in the description box below. If you have any questions, let me know. In the meantime, as always, thanks for watching and stay big.